Okay, so what we're discussing today is Venn diagrams and probability. And what we're going to talk about is that basically is a lot of these probability problems, the notation can get very dense and complicated. And it's a lot easier to visualize with a Venn diagram. And this isn't like the Venn diagram in English class where we're just doing it because the teacher fell in love with graphic organizers. Between the Venn diagram and the tree diagram, it really becomes much, much easier to do these probability problems. Any probability problem where you see a two-way table, you're going to pretty much want to do a Venn diagram immediately. So let's look at some of the definitions. You know, we said if we did the probability of A, that's the white area. And if we did the probability of the complement of A, which is not A, it's the green area. It's every occurrence where A doesn't happen. We talked about two events being disjoint earlier, if they don't have any outcomes in common. And that's what we see is that, right, if A and B are disjoint, these circles don't overlap at all. There is nothing in common. Once again, the entire area here is S, which remember is the sample space. So, but what we're going to get into is we are going to get into the ones where A and B are not disjoint. And what's happening in here, where the two Venn diagrams intersect. And so the notation we use for intersection is this. It's A intersect B. And that's the area where A and B intersect. You can see it's right here. We got it written all over. And this notation means intersect. If you see this symbol, that means union. So the green area, the dark green area here, is the union of A and B. It's all of A and B. And so N is for intersection, U is for union. So I said anytime we get a two-way table, we're going to want to put this information into a Venn diagram in order to see the probabilities. So we had an example, I think, in class last time where we were looking at it was like, is it more likely for males or females to have pierced ears? And so let's create a Venn diagram to show this information. No. All right, hold on one sec. So the key here is that A is defined as someone who is male, and B is defined as someone who has pierced ears. So if we're going to do probabilities, then we need to break this into the Venn diagram. So we define A and we define B. And so A are all the males. And so there is the 71 for males who do not have pierced ears. But 19 of the males have pierced ears, and then 84 females have pierced ears. But they're not males, so they're just in the pierced ears circle. And then there are 4 people who are neither male nor have pierced ears. And so the key thing to doing these is to define the variables. We have to have those variable definitions here of what A and B are. But now we can start looking at different probabilities and different pieces. So when they define A and B, then you go in and you set up your Venn diagram. And the key part here is doing this piece, the place where the two events overlap. which in this case is here. And then we can get all this stuff. The intersection of the two circles was A intersect B. And all of these now are just a matter of going to the Venn diagram and getting the pieces. And like I said, these symbols, it can get really dense here. And so the Venn diagram is going to make your life a lot easier. And we're going to be doing a lot of these Venn diagrams in class and putting in the pieces in class. So I will see everybody next time. If you can, read through this section of your book. Which is page 305, 306, and 307 to practice with some. And we're going to be doing a bunch of these in class. All right, I will see you next class.